Alright folks, today is February 8th and it is about 74 degrees out here. We're going to get into these bees and give them some pollen patties and give them some sugar syrup and see what we can get into. Of course, last week we just checked our brood pattern, got some brood going. We're going to try to get them going a little bit more, see if we can't get these queens to start laying a little more and build up so we can do some splits in April. Yeah, as you can see, they're already starting to build out some comb. These girls will be wanting a box before long. Go ahead and clean that off here in a little bit. See if we can't get some of this burr comb that they've started to build up. We'll check them out, see if they're putting on some brood up here or what they got going on. And we'll give them some sugar syrup and some pollen patties and let them do their thing. Seem to be pretty gentle, so must have some pollen coming in from somewhere. Might have some sugar maples going right now. Seem to be putting up a lot of burr comb on this top here. Might be getting some nectar from those maple trees also. Let's get in here and see what they got. Oh, I don't know where they're getting this pink pollen from. I'll come around and show you. This pink, making pink wax. I don't know what that's from. Maybe maple nectar, maybe something else. I've never seen pink wax. We'll get in here and see if the queen's laying up any brood. These bees are pretty gentle. They're a Caucasian mix from Bob Benny. Get in this middle here and see if we got some brood going. Looks like we got a bunch of pollen coming in. Oh, there's the queen right there. Go ahead and show y'all her. Right there with a green dot in the middle there. Looks like they got a bunch of pollen coming in. She's laid some eggs up on this frame here. See if I can't zoom in and show you some of those eggs. We'll put her back. Got some honey stores in there also. We'll give them some sugar so they can get rolling, but they're bringing in the pollen, that's for sure. May need to put some put the pollen traps on one of these here soon. Start collecting some of this pollen so they don't get pollen bound. Yep, I can see a bunch of oh, they are brooding up big time. She is laying up like a storm. See any queen cups or anything like that, but she's got a pretty good brood pattern on that side going. Got some rainy weather coming in next week, so that's why we're going to give them the pollen. They won't be able to fly for a few days, so keep that brood fed. That way she's not shutting down. Keep them going. She's got another full frame of brood on this one. Make sure there's no swarm cells or anything like that. They may need a box fairly soon. She's got some drone brood going. Maybe splitting this one before long. Big old sheets of brood there. Same on this side. Full of brood. So that's 2 frames of brood so far that she's got going. Let's check this 3rd frame just to see how many frames of brood we got. Might be adding a box to these girls soon. Yep, got a full frame of eggs on this one right here. Got some eggs on this one here. Got some drone brood going. And keep an eye on these. They may be getting ready to swarm in the next 3 weeks. See what this frame's got. Probably got some honey on this one and some pollen would be my guess. It's awfully heavy. Yep. Got some nectar on that side. This one's full of pollen. Bright yellow pollen, so they're getting into some sugar maples. And shut them back up, put a pollen patty on them and top them off with some sugar syrup and let her roll. Seems to be doing pretty good. They sure do like to build up this propolis on the ends here. Makes it a little difficult to move these frames around, but that propolis is good for the hive. Keeps them healthy. We'll close these girls back up and move on to the next one. That pink wax is something different, that's for sure. After researching that and see what they got into to make that. Of course, I'll be using these global patties from Hilco. They got the 4% pollen in them. Give them a whole patty, seeing as how they're building up pretty good. See if I can get some of this burr comb off the top here, get them off this lid. Make sure they're not putting any eggs up in this comb. Nope, just some wax. Scrape that off of there. Going into my 2nd year, it's still all new to me. Trying to figure everything out and the way they do things. Have to do a good bit of swarm control this year. They overwintered pretty good, so hopefully we can keep that going. They're already taking to that pollen there. Put these girls back together and we'll put a bucket of sugar syrup on them. Go ahead and mark that they got a pollen patty. This is a 2nd year queen, so we'll probably be re-queening her this year. I like to keep my queens 1 year to get this thing glued in. Might have to knock it out from the top. move that pollen patty so the sugar water is not right on top of the pollen there. But I got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5.5 frames of bees. So in the next week or two, I'll be adding a second box on to this one to get them ready to split. Close them back up and come back and check them in a week. Make sure they're not already building any queen cells on me. I wouldn't think so, since there's no drones in the hive. Normally they don't swarm unless they have drones out there. Get into this second one here. This one, I'm not so sure isn't a laying worker or a queen that's only laying drones. Get in here and find out what got going on with her or this hive, whether it's no bees, robbed out. See what's going on. Looks like we got some bees in here, but probably not very many. They're not very happy either. That gives me an idea that they do not have a queen. Yep, there's not very many bees in here whatsoever. So they probably are queenless. We'll check them out, see what we need to do. Got some honey stores, may use some of their honey to equalize some of these other. And they could be getting robbed out right now. Let's look and see. See if we got any brood or anything like that. See if there's a queen at all. I suspect there isn't. Got that wonky comb going there. Go ahead and scrape that off. They're bringing pollen in. I don't know what they're building this wonky comb for. They have got a lot of pollen in here. Don't see any queen. They're awfully runny, so that usually means they don't have a queen. But we'll make sure just to see. Oh yeah, there's a bunch of drone brood here. You either got a drone laying queen or a worker that's laying eggs. See if I can't find out what's going on with this one. This may be oh, they got a queen cell going here. See if there's anything in it. I doubt it with what they got going on. This just may be a dead out before long. Might just let them go and start over. Give their resources to another hive and shake them out. Because they are bringing in the pollen, but there is no queen, and I don't think they'll have one. So I got a laying worker situation going on. Close them up. They'll eventually probably just die out with not having a queen. We'll steal the resource. I'll steal the resources and move them to a different hive and call that one a loss. Close them back up. Surprised they haven't got robbed out yet. That'll be good resources for one of the splits, especially if I have to split this first colony over here. One that's going crazy on me here. Won't be putting any sugar water on them or pollen patties because they don't have a queen. There's no reason to. This is a 24 queen also. This is one of my original queens. It's a Caucasian breed from Bob Benny. One of the ones I split the rest of these hives off of. They seem to be making a ton of propolis, gluing these lids down. Get in here and see what she's got going on. Yeah, they're putting some wax up here on top. Try to keep these top bars clean. They love to put wax up here if you let them, if you give them room. Also an indicator that they need more room eventually. Keep everything clean and kind of gives you an idea of what next time you come in, what they're doing. Is if they put some more on top, then you know that they're wanting to go upward. Let's go in here and see how many frames of bees we got here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 frames of bees. We may be splitting these girls too in the next 2 weeks. Seems like they just took off. Got plenty of honey. Get in here on the middle, see what kind of brood she's got. See if she's got as much brood as first hive. Pull these girls out slow so I don't squish anybody. Oh yeah, got plenty of brood. They are piling on the brood. Sheets of brood. Don't see the queen on this one. There's brood on that frame there. Make sure there's no queen cells this early. I don't think there will be. No drones or anything flying around or in the hive. They're putting in some wonky comb for some reason. Come on, girls. Tearing everything up. Gotta fix that. Looks like they got a queen cell or queen cup going on. See if there's anything in it. It's not charged, so I'm gonna go ahead and take it out. We don't want them making any queens just yet. This frame, no eggs, got pollen on the outside. Got plenty of places to lay some eggs. Got brood all over this. There's pollen everywhere. Got another queen cup, nothing in it. Didn't tear it down, so they don't put any in there. Bringing in the pollen. Got some drone brood going. Bunch of eggs, bunch of larvae. She's laying up pretty good on that one. Girls are very calm right now. I don't have to use very much smoke. Only reason I'm using smoke is just to get them out of the way a little bit. That's what we like, gentle bees. This frame is very heavy. Yep, piled full of pollen and nectar. No eggs on this one, so this queen's got 2 frames of brood, 2.5 frames of brood and eggs. So we'll let her keep raising those bees. Give her a pollen patty and some sugar syrup. Let them get back to work. Giving them a whole 1 pound patty. See how much they take out of it. On this one, you want to put it right over the brood. Make sure we get the girls out of the way. I'm gonna have to push that down a little bit. Give them some sugar syrup, get them going. It's just a little 1-to-1 sugar syrup with some Apis biologics in it. Help them rear that brood a little better. I know they'll enjoy this sugar syrup. Make sure we don't overfill it. Looks pretty good. Put these girls back. Make sure we don't squish anybody. Make sure we keep our notes on top of the hive here. Pollen patty on 2-8. That way we know how long it took them to take that patty or take that syrup down. Get them back up. We'll get on to the next one. Go through these a little faster. We're kind of doing the same thing. I may end up speeding up this video just so it's not so long. They still got sugar bricks on there. Have to get those off. These are a Carney queen that I purchased to make splits last summer. They overwinter a little smaller cluster than others. They seem to be doing pretty good themselves. Get all this sugar and wax off of here, and we'll give them a pollen patty, see if they got brood going. Little feeder trim. Make sure that pollen patties don't get squished. Sugar's good. Roll through these real quick, see if they got any brood, clean this off. This one's got about 3 frames of bees. Be a little later splitting than these other 2 I got. We'll check it out, see what they got, see if there's any brood on the middle of these. They got plenty of food here. Get in the middle of this cluster of bees here. Got some wooden and some plastic frames. I'm not really a fan of these wooden frames, but she seems to be laying up eggs here. Oh, there's a hive beetle. Smush it. We don't need hive beetles in this hive. Yeah, she's laying small pattern here. We'll get her some pollen patties. There she is right there. And she's not, her dot's rubbed off. We'll go ahead and mark her real quick. See if we can't get her marking back on. Give her a little green dot there. Make it easier to find her later on. This little cage here that I use, it's got the little spikes on it. Makes it easier to get her where you need her and mark her quick, and then you can get her back in the hive. Yep, she got a small little cluster of brood going there. We'll put her back, see if she's laying on this other frame here. The smoker's getting low because I haven't had to use it very much. I like these Carney and Caucasian queens and bees because they tend to be very gentle. As you can see, she's got a pretty good pattern here. I'll bring it over. See, they lay up just a little bit smaller clusters. See some with some pollen on their baskets there. A little smaller cluster there. We'll get her going pretty good once we throw this pollen in here. So it looks like she's got about a total of probably the equivalent of 1 frame of brood. See if we can increase that by giving her some pollen and some sugar syrup. Get them going. Yeah, this pollen here, pollen patty here, it's got what they call rocket fuel in it. And this is my first time using it, so we'll see if it's really does what they say it does. I like having these gentle bees because you don't really have to use smoke too much. Get this other bucket here. Get these girls rolling with some sugar syrup. You never really know what you're gonna have till you pop those lids off. Did not think they would have as much brood in them as they do. But that's a good thing. See if we got a good cluster of bees here. We'll throw some pollen on these girls, give them some sugar. It's kind of a small cluster. This is another one of those Carniolan queens. Well, no, this is a Caucasian queen that I split off and let them raise their own bee, let them raise their own queen. Sure do like to put the wax on the top. I got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 frames of bees. You can hear them getting a little buzzy over here on the feeder. Doesn't take long for them to realize they don't have a queen in the area. They don't like getting far from her. Just gonna put some pollen patties on these girls and some sugar. Make a note later to keep an eye on the hive number 1 and number 3. I try to check them every week, about every 7 to 10 days. Make sure that they're not swarming or have queen cells or have any other issues. Most times I have single brood management, which makes it easier because I don't have to go through 2 boxes. Go ahead and get these girls going, rocking and rolling. Move on to the next. I keep my notes on top. Yeah, I hope to go from these 5 that I have now. I did have 6 before that one became queenless. But hope to go from these 5 to hopefully having 12, maybe 18 if I can. Try to get as many splits out of these as I can before the nectar flow comes on. Looks like this queen, Carniolan queen, she's got about 4 frames of bees here, and they're making some comb between the frames, trying to glue them together here. I gotta fix that. They don't need to be gluing those or putting wax between those frames. Girls, what you got going on? Running out of stores? No, you got some on that side. Give you some sugar water also. See if you got any brood going on. Bunch of pollen on that frame. Nothing on the back side. Try to keep this clean, and they may be putting wax on there to keep the hive beetles at bay. check and see and make sure we got some brood in here. Don't need another queenless hive. Oh yeah, she's putting in some brood frames here. Got plenty of brood on that side, plenty of brood on that side. Some brood there. So we got about 3 frames of brood here. Give her a pollen patty and get her going. Give them some sugar water. They're a little lower on stores. This is one of the late season splits that I did. This is the last one. Trying to increase those numbers as fast as possible, but to where it doesn't make it too hard on me. Give them a pollen patty right over the brood there. And fill them up with some sugar water. All right, finish that. Close these girls up and then we'll close it out. Y'all make sure you like, subscribe, and watch more of my videos. We'll see you on the next one.